How's it going, knife nerds? Today we are taking a look here at the Civivi Elementum with the Tanto ground D2 blade and the copper scales. So this is just another iteration of the ever famous Civivi Elementum, which has been an incredibly popular budget knife for the last couple of years. And this is actually my first time handling any of the Elementums. And my buddy lent this into the channel for review. And, you know, it's cool to get one of the kind of different oddball versions of it rather than just seeing the plain Jane version for my first time handling one. So we have the obvious Tanto grind here on the blade, which certainly adds some flair to the Elementum, which has always been a rather kind of plain Jane user EDC knife. So we get a little bit of a, you know, compound ground Tanto blade shape going on here to kind of spice this puppy up a little bit. Factory edge is sufficient, not very sharp, but sufficient, and you know, not ground horribly or uneven or anything, so that's pretty good. And man, I really dig their, you know, forced patinaed copper finish that they did here, which is kind of this, you know, horizontal scratch pattern across the scales. It just looks super cool and kind of antiqued in a different sort of way. I like how all of the edges, you know, are kind of sanded down. The patina gets sanded down there to kind of show those, you know, bright edges around there. Now I do believe these patinas are sort of locked in with a finish, so they're not just going to rub off or anything. I know a lot of people, when they get these Civivis with copper on them, they like to take and sand off the you know, factory patina so that they can add their own natural patina. And I'm just not real sure why, because, you know, a natural patina is super cool, but this is pretty darn cool too. I mean, you're still getting the copper tones in there, and, you know, you've got this beautiful scratch pattern here that I really dig. This is cool because the liners are blacked out, the pivot is blacked out, all the hardware is blacked out along with the blade, and so it's just kind of a dark look to it. We do have a lanyard hole here for attaching a lanyard with no inner tube, and then it's, you know, sitting on standoffs there. And there is some milling on the liners. I don't believe there's any milling on the copper itself, but I'm not going to disassemble it because this is a brand new knife and it's my buddy's, so I don't want to mess with that. Let me grab a little flashlight here right quick. Nope, no milling at all on the copper itself. You know, they could have certainly done that to reduce weight on this knife, because copper is just an insanely heavy material for knife scales. And you know, I think if they had done, you know, they did do the milling on the liners there, as you can see, but if they had milled out the copper a little bit too, it would have been a little bit better on the weight. It is a liner lock, and they've got a little bit of jimping on the liner here, but it's not sharp or aggressive. It does allow you to get good traction on the lock to disengage that blade. It is a flipper only action. There is no secondary deployment method, and the action is very, very nice. Not going to be drop shutty, but shake shut, yeah, definitely. Riding on ceramic bearings, ceramic detent. And the flipper tab is pretty low profile, but not in a bad way. That doesn't allow you to get to it. So this is pretty smooth little action here. I dig it a lot. On the Blade HQ website, they're saying this is a hollow ground. I think that's a typo. This feels like a flat grind to me. It is not hollow ground. There is a tad bit of a swedge up here. And some specs on it real quick. It is just under 7 inches overall length. The blade length 2.96 inches, so it is Cali legal. And yeah, so that's about it. They're calling this the black stonewashed finish, which you can see it is lightly stonewashed there with that PVD coating that we does so very well, or Civivi I should say, we Civivi. And yeah, man, gonna be another brief review today. This is pretty self-descriptive. Everybody knows what the Elementum is. This is just a new version. And of course you get your standard Civivi pouch with your standard Civivi goods inside with a cleaning cloth, stickers, etc. All right, y'all, until the next one, later.